Hi and welcome. I hope you're doing well. In case you're new here, my name is Caro and this is my YouTube channel. I share a little bit about my art, which is all about learning deeper about the plants and the fungi around us and within us. And the same goes to my daily life. For the past decade or so, I've been in the process of asking myself what it means to be a living animal on Earth, on this flying rock on space, and learning more about the plants, the fungi, the animals that live alongside us. And today I made myself a passion flower and ginger tea, and I would love for us to chat on creativity. So in case this feels relevant or inspiring to you, inviting you to maybe make yourself a tea, a cup of something that you love, and let's get into chatting about creativity. So before we even get into chatting, I wanted to start this video by sharing with you some of the things that I wrote earlier today. This morning in the Patreon that I have, we had a call called exactly as this video, a chat on creativity. And within that call, we started the first few minutes journaling some questions that I had for us. And then we chatted away about the questions that we all responded. But I wanted to start this video by sharing with you some of the things that I wrote in our journaling session on that call on my Patreon. So I wrote, creativity feels important to me because it feels like the language of my unspoken parts. The puzzle pieces I may not understand while they are created. They start separate, but pieces that together help me make sense of everything. Who I am, what I love about life, unprocessed emotions, root answers and questions. Creating feels important to me because it helps me stay sane. It brings me closer to what feels like my true self and the truth of what or why it means to be alive. Creative ideas come from God. They come from the compost and the seeds, from moss, sweat, DNA, imagination, and those pieces of nature that seem to be governed by the fairies. Creative ideas come from the wind, the creative muse, our dreams, and the co-creation of everything that is alive. Creative ideas come from believing the whispers of our ancestors, the stories of those yet to come, and we, in the present, bring them all to fruition. And then, I am slowly restarting. It has been a busy season. I am doing an effort to meditate every day, to use my phone less, and getting off Instagram most of December feels exciting. Less phone, less screens, more sky and boredom. Breathing deeper, tea in silence, alone time, less plans, and taking as my responsibility less of what is not mine. I want to create more spaces. I want to post videos, make art, newsletters, gatherings that bring more contemplation rather than moments of feeling rushed. What is my relationship to my inner landscape currently like? More me time, books, candles, teas, meditation, movement, walks, painting. Allowing outside in order to jump inside. A winter to go within, to play and paint. Make space for the new wave. Get to know inside with the allyship of the plants. Sleep more, eat more, less pressure, more gentleness and curiosity. Get to know the inner landscape before you ask it to create anything. Dear Caro, I am ready to meet you inside as you are right now. I want to get to know your languages and ways of now. So I have been thinking and feeling a lot into creativity. And if you and I have seen each other in the past few months, I've definitely either bored you talking about Tame Impala, Rosalia, or Stranger Things, because there's a reason for it all, and I've been very inspired by Rosalia, very inspired by Tame Impala. Both of them are two of my favorite artists and have been for a very long time, and they both released new albums in the last few months, and The reason why I couldn't stop talking about them is because I've been thinking a lot about the courage of creativity and a lot about what it takes to create something, what it takes to show up to create, and also what it takes to keep exploring instead of getting stuck in something that has fulfilled you as an artist, whether because it fulfilled you personally when you created it or because it became very praised and loved in the eyes of other people or the ears of other people in the case you make music. So first of all, this year I've been down the rabbit hole of Tame Impala because I've been loving Tame Impala for years. I've seen them in shows back in 2013 and back in 2014, and just this year I learned that it's just one guy. And I know the internet is full of memes of people being like, did you know it's just one guy? So I didn't know. I thought it was a band, and I know they tour as a band, and that's why I was confused. But this year I learned that Kevin Parker is the one that pretty much creates everything alone. And that gave me a whole new respect for the music that Kevin Parker creates. And also because I love learning the stories of becoming of artists, and I loved learning that Kevin Parker started creating music as Tame Impala when he lived with roommates, and he created everything out of his bedroom on top of his bed. And then when he got a little money from the first album that he released, he was able to rent out another room in the house he rented out with roommates. And that's when I believe one of his first albums, I don't know which one, came out, and it was all created thanks to being able to rent that second room. The first album was created out of his bed, and I think that is so wonderful. Sometimes as artists, we believe whenever we have that big, beautiful art studio from Pinterest, we will be able to make amazing art. Whenever we quit our day job, we'll be creating the best art we've ever made. And from my experience, that couldn't be further from the truth. Of course, it helps so much to have a dedicated space for art. It is quite inspiring. As someone that has an art studio, I can say that. And having your time to be a full-time artist, it's absolutely also an amazing privilege that a lot of folks don't have. So from my personal experience, I can say that when I used to make art on top of my bed or in a little table from IKEA in my bedroom with no windows, I created some of my favorite art, and some of the art that I created in that time was the art that healed me the most, that was more personal, that helped me go within, helped me went and just adventure my inner landscape and learn more about myself, learn more about the type of art that I love. And I just say that because I feel there's a beauty into it. And coming back to Tame Impala, I have been so inspired by Kevin Parker and Tame Impala, not only because I love his music and I've loved it since learning about it back in probably 2012 or 2013. And one of the reasons why I'm so inspired by Tame Impala right now is because of the new album that he released this year, Deadbeat. And one of the reasons why this album inspires me so much, it's because I think that it truly takes a lot of courage to, as an artist, especially as an artist that is mainstream, that is worldwide known, that a lot of people love and adore, and they make worldwide tours, etc., to be known for a specific type of music, in the case of Tame Impala for psychedelic rock, and then changing the music that they're making. Before we continue chatting about creativity, I wanted to take a second to say thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Squarespace has been the virtual home of my website, art portfolio, email campaigns, member areas, art shop, and so much more since 2018, and I cannot recommend them enough. Right now, I've been working on my online shop update, and Squarespace gives you everything you need to offer services and get paid all in one place. From consultations to events and experiences, products, and more, showcase your offerings with a customizable website designed to attract clients and grow your business. Squarespace and I are partnering up to offer you a 2-week free trial. And once you're ready to launch, you can use the code Arevalo to get 10% of your first purchase of a website or domain with them. And now let's keep chatting about creativity. And one of the reasons why this album inspires me so much, it's because I think that it truly takes a lot of courage to, as an artist, especially as an artist that is mainstream, that is worldwide known, that a lot of people love and adore, and they make worldwide tours, etc., to be known for a specific type of music, in the case of Tame Impala for psychedelic rock, and then changing the music that they're making. I believe that as creators, we change, and the art that we produce changes. And I feel that being any type of artist, it does take courage to decide that it's time to take another route, because you feel that call from within. And I think that it does take an extra level of courage to do that when you are already known for a specific type of art, and choosing not to do that type of art, but rather explore the newness that is feeling like boiling inside of you, which might mean losing fans, which might mean people not liking your new music anymore. I think that takes a lot of courage as a creator. And I, thanks to my friend Vanessa, started listening to the Apple Music podcast with Shane Lowe, which I hadn't heard before. And Shane Lowe interviews Kevin Parker when releasing Deadbeat. And I love that Kevin Parker said, I could create 1,000 songs just like Elephant because I know the recipe and I know that works, right? But he decided to explore something that felt exciting for him. And I would rather have any artist that I adore release an album that I personally don't like, if that is what the artist wants to create. You know what I mean? I would rather have a new album, but by one of my favorite artists, be an album that for me is horrible, that is not my personal taste, but that it is something that the artist chose to really explore because it felt like something that was boiling from within. And even though Deadbeat is not my favorite album of Tame Impala, there are songs that I adore in that album, like Afterthought and Dracula and Ethereal Connections are songs that I've been playing non-stop since the album came out. I also adore End of Summer. I love Inner Speaker more, and I love Currents more. And I say that just to make emphasis on how, as spectators, it's beautiful to see artists that you love keep exploring, keep really like following that juiciness that they probably felt when they became well known for their first few albums. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't resonate with me, it doesn't matter if it doesn't resonate with Pitchfork or whoever else. What matters is that as an artist, you're staying true to yourself. And whether that is Tame Impala being such a big name and such a recognized musician out in the world, or if it's me or someone like me that barely a few hundred people know, or maybe someone that no one has seen their art. I feel that there is a beauty to having that courage to stay true to the newness, even when we don't know how will that look. I think it's so wonderful when we choose to keep exploring. And that is something that has had me very inspired this last year. I just closed my art shop a couple of weeks ago, and what has been wonderful about it is that I am taking out of my shop more than 30 paintings because they have run their time. I love that they exist and that I painted them and that people have them in their homes. There is a beautiful magic to it, but I want to not offer them anymore because I feel there's a new wave in my painting coming, and I don't know how that will look. I have no idea if it, as people seeing my art, anybody else will be able to see the difference, but I feel that there might be a new wave of art coming from me that is changing from the art that I've made in the past. And a lot of the prints that I'm taking out of my shop are art that is already very different from the art that I've been doing in the last 2 or 3 years. So I just feel there is a beauty in choosing to make space in order to learn what is coming, to go within and see like what is wanting to come out of ourselves. Today in our Patreon call, we were talking about where do creative ideas come from? Where does creativity come from? And a lot of us in the call, and I'm sure that a lot of you watching this video, just like myself, believe that creative ideas are not only from ourselves, but they are from something bigger than ourselves, whether that is the cosmos, the universe, God, the mycelium network, the creative consciousness, or whatever name we want to give it. I feel a lot of people can resonate with the idea that it is a co-creation, and I'm feeling I want to make space for that. And the reason why I've also been talking so much about Rosalia is because, first of all, I love her. I adore her music, and I think she's just such an amazing, talented musician that can mix so many different types of music and can make an amazing reggaeton song and can also sing opera in the way she does. And she can make a song like Berghain that really, it was a mindfuck for me, and I'm sure that for a lot of other people. So I just love seeing an artist that is so nerdy about their work and that can really just decide to explore something new. Rosalia became mainstream or recognized worldwide thanks to Motomami, and she does have music that is deeply rooted in flamenco, like the album Los Angeles or like the album El Mal Querer. And then you have the album that made her worldwide famous, which was Motomami, which is, I would describe it as a reggaeton album. And I think it's so wonderful to see, and it's inspiring. I'm not a musician, but I love to get inspired by artists that are creating different things, whether that's music or dance or books or painting or anything else. I love that there is this level of nerdiness and also that courage of being like, I want to explore different things. And I'm not putting myself in one box, in the box of, in my case, there's so many boxes that I could touch base on. I could be inside the box of psychedelic visual art. I could be inside the box of a scientific botanical illustrator. I can be inside the box of illustration. I can be inside the box of cartoon art, and I do feel there are levels of each of those things, but I don't feel I'm any of those. And I love when I just see artists that are like, you know what? It's great when one artist feels this is my thing. I'm only an opera singer and that's what I do. And that's beautiful and amazing. But I think it's also wonderful when that doesn't feel comfortable, to feel the courage and to be like, you know what? I want to explore as much as I want to explore and not leave myself inside this box because, I don't know, the music traditional world says if I'm an opera singer, I'm only an opera singer. And I feel there is such a beauty in that. And I feel there is a time for everything. There's a time, at least for me, there was a time to do psychedelic, visionary art. And there is a level of that will always be present in my paintings, I believe, because it's one of the cimientos. How do I say that? It's one of the building blocks of my work. And I feel it will always be there in one way. But I don't feel that resonated with me anymore. And I am not a psychonaut, and I haven't been in a very long time. So I feel there is a level of, you know what? I feel more called to explore the biology through painting and mycology through painting. So there is a level of scientific illustration or botanical illustration. And I think there's beauty in it too, of just letting your heart and your curiosity lead the way in learning new things. And within that, I wanted to mention the importance of patience, right? Because I feel there's so many different parts of being an artist, not only feeling that curiosity or that inspiration or that call to explore something, but there's also that level of making that tool your own, and the level of really learning how to draw a leaf that moves, how to draw a bird, a specific bird, how to draw a specific gecko, how to create a specific color that is a color of, I don't know, amanita mushroom or cordyceps mushroom or whatever, you know? So I think there is a time and a place to be like, you know what, right now it's not time to work on the final masterpiece. Right now is the time to just not show anything and just be alone, immersed in the learning process, in learning other artists and learning the history. If I am painting a mushroom, I love to see if there are any documentaries about it, if there have been any papers, any research made about it, finding images, going to forays around where I live, learn about where this mushroom is from, learn if there are any cosmogonies or folk stories about it. Are there any medicinal practices around these plants? So I feel there is so many levels in the ones we can learn about the muses that we have in our arts and in our painting. And something that keeps coming back over and over and over for me is right now where I live, it's winter, and winter is such a big invitation to go a little bit slower and a little bit gentler. And I feel the holidays also carry that energy, no matter if you're in a summer sunny place. I feel there's this level of cooking at home and being together and celebrating and everything about joy and making some handmade things, you know? And I've just been thinking a lot about the opportunity whenever we can tap into how about we become a little bit more gentle, not only in our ways of being a human, but also in the ways we create. And I mention that because it's something that I am personally learning very, very slowly, but I'm learning how to not punish myself for painting slow or for loving research or for nerding up about something before I painted. And I don't know, I feel like creativity is such an important part of being a human. I feel that creativity is such an important part of what is lovely to see others make. I love when my favorite artists release a new album, and I love that they take 3, 5, 10 years in releasing a new album, because I know that they have been within those years deep down the rabbit hole of trying something new, of learning techniques, of trial and error, of resting, of enjoying life, of touring, you know? So I feel there's just like this level of reclaiming ourselves when we let other creators and we let our own creative process take it time it needs. In a world that seems to be just going faster every day and everything seems to be getting monetized every day, I think that there's just so much beauty into being like, you know what? I'm going to take my time in creating these because it speaks so deeply to myself. And of course, we could also go down the rabbit hole of speaking about all of us don't have all the time in the world in order to create what we want to create. And we live in this world in the one we have to pay things and pay rent and food, and everything seems to be getting more expensive all the time, right? But I feel that there are ways to navigate that. Like I, for example, don't make my money, and I'm not capable to pay all my bills just by releasing one new painting a year. But I rather do YouTube videos, and I teach basic watercolor classes, and there's like so many como diferentes canastas. There's like so many different baskets. From the one I make little money in order to be able to pay my bills and then have the time to make those paintings that take me forever to do and to research, but that I love. So that's a whole other video and a whole other topic we can go into. Let me know if that's something that you want to, I don't know, see one of these chit chat teas with Caro kind of calls. But I think that's everything that I have. This is just a video sharing a little bit about what has been inspiring me, the artists that have been inspiring me, and at the same time, just like that inner call to slow down and be nerdy and take your time and be gentle and just explore and create whatever feels new and exciting, even if it's different from what you've been doing for forever. If for forever doesn't resonate any longer, we're changing, and I feel that our art can most of the time does change with us. My art changes with me, and I love that because I think there is a beauty to that. And that also, this is the last thing that I'm going to say, that brings me to the art of whenever you finish a project, releasing it, because the painting that I was able to do 10 years ago is not the painting that I can do today, and it will probably not be the painting that I can do 10 years from now. So knowing that I gave myself the permission to just release things as the best they could be at that moment helps me also see my transformation through the years, because I was able to start and finish something and let it go. Start and finish something and let it go. And then let my art grow with me and change with me. And I don't know, there's just so much beauty to the fact that we have the ability to create and to explore through these non-spoken languages like art making or music making. And yay to creativity. Thank you so much for being here. Creativity is one of my deepest loves in this world, so I wanted to end this YouTube year by sharing a video on creativity. And I hope this resonates with you, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your year, and I hope that we get a lot of time to create next year, because we need it so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring this video. And if you like this topic and know someone that loves creativity and might need a little inspiration to get that creative juices moving again, feel free to share this video with them. And if you like what you see here, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm also on Instagram and I have a Patreon. And that's everything. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.